Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. Hey friends, here's an urgent update straight from the Red Bull garage that could shake up the grid in the coming weeks. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because we're here every single day with the latest and most relevant news from Formula One, always direct and on point. Now let's get into it. After the incident involving Max Verstappen and George Russell during the Spanish Grand Prix, things have escalated beyond what many expected. Verstappen received a 10-second time penalty during the race, dropping from P5 to P10, and more critically, he was handed 3 penalty points on his super license. That brings his total to 11, just 1 point away from the dreaded 12-point limit that triggers an automatic one-race suspension. This isn't just a minor detail. With the championship race heating up and Red Bull already facing pressure from McLaren, Ferrari, and even Mercedes in the constructors' standings, losing their star driver for a race would be catastrophic. Red Bull knows this, and that's exactly why, according to reports from the race, the team has quietly submitted a request for a super license exemption for one of their most promising young drivers, Arvid Lindblad. Lindblad is currently just 17 years old but already competes in Formula 2, where he's sitting 3rd in the championship. He has accumulated enough points for a super license, but because of his age, he needs a special waiver from the FIA. Now, if that sounds familiar, it's because Mercedes' Kimi Antonelli faced the same situation last season. Despite being underage, Antonelli was granted the license because of his exceptional maturity and track record. Lindblad, by all accounts, fits that same profile. The FIA is set to vote on Lindblad's exemption as early as next week. If approved, he could be eligible to race in Formula One immediately. But before that happens, Red Bull has another name in mind if Verstappen is suspended: Isaac Hadjar. The young French driver has been making waves in his rookie season with Racing Bulls. If Verstappen is sidelined, Hadjar would likely be promoted to Red Bull's main seat, giving the team a chance to evaluate him under top-level pressure. That move would leave a vacancy at Racing Bulls. Red Bull would then decide between Ayumu Iwasa and Arvid Lindblad to fill that seat, depending on whether Lindblad gets the green light from the FIA. This entire situation shows that Red Bull is preparing for the worst. They are not taking any chances with Verstappen's volatile driving style or emotional outbursts. And there's good reason for concern. Verstappen's recent behavior has raised eyebrows even within his own team. The collision with Russell was seen by many as avoidable, and some insiders believe that if Verstappen doesn't rein in his aggression, it could cost the team dearly, not just in points but in their title hopes. So what's next? The answer depends on Verstappen. He has 2 races, Canada and Austria, before some of his penalty points expire. If he avoids further infractions during this period, he'll drop from 11 to 9 points and escape the danger zone. But if he picks up even 1 more point before then, Red Bull will be forced to act. So now we ask you, is Red Bull just being smart and cautious, or are they genuinely worried that Verstappen might explode again under pressure? And if he does get suspended, who would you rather see in his place? Hadjar, Lindblad, or someone else entirely? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to follow us here at Grand Prix for everything you need to know about Formula One. Updated daily and always with clarity. Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Let's talk about Ferrari. Tell us in the comments, how do you see their performance in the 2025 season? Do you think the team has made meaningful progress, or were you expecting more from Hamilton and Leclerc's car? For many fans, the season so far has been disappointing. The expectations at the start were high. Some even believed Ferrari could challenge for the title this year. But the reality on track has been very different. The 2025 car was significantly updated compared to last season, yet it failed to solve the major issues that plagued the previous model. The team started the season with only a few updates, and even those brought little to no improvement. Now, Ferrari finds itself far from the front, not only in the Drivers' Championship, but also in the Constructors. For several weeks, the team has promised that a major upgrade is coming to fix the car's problems. But the updates keep getting delayed. First it was scheduled for Imola, then postponed to Spain, and now, there's no clear date at all. Meanwhile, both drivers are doing their best with what they have. Lewis Hamilton, in particular, has voiced his frustrations. After the last race, he was visibly upset, not only with the car's general performance, but also with losing out to a Sauber on the final laps, which was simply unexpected. When asked what he expects from Ferrari moving forward, Hamilton was honest. He said he has no idea when the promised updates will arrive or what they'll include. For now, he's focused on learning more about the car and adapting to the team's internal processes, which, according to him, is the only thing within his control. Hamilton even hinted that if things don't improve soon, he'll ask the team to shift focus entirely to the 2026 car. He believes that without a major turnaround, Ferrari is out of the title race for this year. Rather than chasing after an unlikely comeback, it might be wiser to redirect resources and planning toward building a truly competitive machine for next season, especially considering the upcoming regulation changes. From his perspective, even if this year's car doesn't deliver, there's still value in understanding everything happening behind the scenes, how the car is being developed, how the team operates, and where the weaknesses really lie. That knowledge could provide a strong foundation to design a much better car for 2026, one that's stable, fast, and finally capable of competing at the front consistently. Still, Hamilton hasn't given up entirely. He's holding on to the hope that the long-awaited update might arrive and help salvage some performance. But as of now, no date has been confirmed for its debut. If nothing changes in the next few races, it's likely that Ferrari will have no choice but to shift its energy and investment into next season's project. So now it's your turn. What do you think Ferrari should do? Is it time to call off the fight and start preparing for 2026? Or should they keep pushing, hoping that even a small gain could help secure better positions in the standings before the year ends? Let us know in the comments. Your voice matters here. Hey friends, how's it going? The Red Bull driver drama continues, and it's becoming a real headache for the team this season. As you might recall, the year started with Lawson getting a shot in the second seat, but he didn't impress the team and was quickly replaced by Yuki Tsunoda. Tsunoda started off decently, showing flashes of potential and slightly closing the gap to Verstappen. But like so many before him, he's now struggling to adapt to this car. And that's becoming a serious issue. As it stands, Max Verstappen has been responsible for nearly all of Red Bull's points so far. The backup drivers? Just 7 points combined. That's a shocking stat for a team aiming to win the Constructors' Championship. Right now, Red Bull sits only in 4th place. Unacceptable for a team of this caliber. While Verstappen continues to deliver, other top teams like Ferrari and Mercedes are consistently scoring with both drivers. That kind of balance is what's putting them ahead. Red Bull, on the other hand, is heavily dependent on one man. Team principal Christian Horner was recently asked about Tsunoda's future. His response: "For now, the team is focused on supporting Yuki." Horner admitted Tsunoda's biggest challenge is confidence, finding a setup that suits his driving style and allows him to push without losing control. But the cracks are showing. Horner acknowledged that Tsunoda has been involved in several incidents and simply hasn't been bringing in the points. So while the message is support for now, Horner made it clear, if the trend continues, a more serious conversation is inevitable. Horner wrapped up by saying that Tsunoda has shown flashes of strong performance, just not across an entire race weekend. When he finally pieces everything together, he believes Yuki has the potential to consistently score and narrow the gap to Verstappen. But the pressure is clearly on. Red Bull's situation is made worse by their limited pool of backup drivers. If Tsunoda doesn't step up soon, the team may need to consider other options. Lawson might get another look, or perhaps Isaac Hadjar, who's been making waves in Racing Bulls. But if neither proves capable of handling the second seat, Red Bull may have to do something they rarely do: look outside their driver academy. Rumors are already swirling. George Russell has reportedly caught the team's attention, and Red Bull has quietly sounded out other potential options as well. For now, all eyes are on Tsunoda. Can he prove himself worthy of that seat? Or will he be the next in a long list of second drivers who couldn't make it work at Red Bull? Let me know in the comments. Do you think the team should give Yuki until the end of the season to prove himself? Or has he already had enough chances to show he belongs?